pretty much fully clear on how the sound basically is heard by the human ear and transmitted to the brain ultimately. Now, these are the key points on book page 258, and you must read them very carefully. Now, I have shared the questions regarding these lectures in the form of an assignment on the Google Classroom, but just to be on the safe side, I'll also discuss the questions with you first. So this is the classwork, and again, this is for 2 days, so don't think that it's a lot of work, okay? Now, first of all, you have to do the definition. This is from your curriculum extraction. So you have to define the rarefactions and compressions in a sound wave, okay? And a hint is, the answer is mentioned on book page 255, last paragraph. Question number 2 says, in a guitar, explain in 5 or more steps how a sound is produced and heard by the audience. What is the source? Now over here, the source is basically the disturbance or the plucking of the string in a guitar, okay? That is the source. So first thing is we pluck the string, and then the sound which is produced through the plucking in the form of rarefaction and compressions travels through the air. Then it reaches the outer ear, then it reaches the inner ear, and finally causes our brain to detect that sound, okay? You can also write this in detail. Now question number 3 says, describe how the following sounds are produced by the instruments which include a flute. Now beta, when we actually produce sound in the flute, we blow air into it. So in a flute, the sound is produced by blowing air into the hollow cylinder, as a result of which the compression of the air and rarefactions are caused, producing the sound. Part B says the buzzing of a mosquito. Basically, sounds of buzzing of a mosquito are produced by the flapping of the wings. When the mosquito flaps its wings very, very quickly, the compression and rarefactions take place, disturbance travels, and the buzzing sound of a mosquito is produced. Rustling of a leaf. That is produced when basically you are going to put your foot or any hard material on the dry leaf. It produces a rustling sound because it causes a compression in the air, and through the compression and rarefactions in the solid form of leaves, through the solid into the air, the sounds are traveled. Question number 4, how does the tabla, which is a musical instrument, produce the sound, and how sound travels to someone's ear? Finally, please take help of the previous video of how do we hear sounds, and just like starting with the first one, that the membrane, the thin layer on top of tabla, when you hit that to produce the sound, then that membrane gets compressed. Inside the tabla, the air compression now moves out, causes the tabla membrane to now move up, okay? When it moves up, causes the compressions in the air, and those compressions and rarefactions finally reach our ear. Question number 5 is, what happens when there is no air to the sound? Give the example of a bell jar. This is something you will answer yourself because I've already explained it. Use help from book page 256, figure 11.5. And also try to understand and recall about the concept why sound does not travel in vacuum. Question number 6 says, how sound moves faster? Does sound move faster in solids, liquid, or gases? I've already explained that materials having higher density have a sound speed which is faster. So the sound travels fastest in solids because it is highly dense, particles are very close, then come the solids, then come the gases. Then come the liquids, and then come the gases. Question number 7 says, explain in steps how sound reaches the brain. You have to very carefully understand the labeling which can come in your examination on page 257, 11.6 figure, and you have to explain each and every step by taking help from the book, and you must have understood. For any questions and queries, please send me a WhatsApp text. I will move to your homework in the next video.